This is a HeadGum podcast.
You got mail.
Hi, I'm Milly Tamaris.
And I'm Alise Morales.
And this is
Go Touch Grass,
the podcast where we log in.
So you can log off.
Alise and I are two chronically online comedians, and on this pod, we break down the week in internet discourse, viral memes, TikTok trends, and niche influencer drama so that you don't have to.
And if you like what you hear today and you want to hear more, we've already got a Go Touch Grass Patreon up with all of our test episodes, trending topics, a weekly newsletter, and our spin-off series, Search History, where we go back and break down a viral discourse from the past.
And don't forget to please leave us a 5-star rating and review. Subscribe and tell your friends.
It really helps. It
really
really
helps.
It helps everybody find us. And today, guys, we have an amazing guest. We are so excited. He is a comedian. He's an artist. He's a media entrepreneur.
Boom.
He's the lead singer of an indie sleaze band.
Woo-hoo.
It's Kareem Rahma.
Yeah.
Yay.
Wow. I've never been described as a singer of an indie sleaze band.
That's what it
That was
says.
me. That's what I added that little
That is
pizzazz.
fire, bro. I feel like Julian Casablancas right now.
Wow. Don't know who that is. Okay, opening
lead singer
question.
of the Strokies.
Kareem, does everyone cool you know just have rich parents?
100%. There's literally no one out there who is cool who is not bankrolled.
I feel like I disagree. I feel like I know cool people. Like the coolest people are the people who can pull off a $7 outfit. You know what I mean? I know what you're saying, that there's really maybe successful people who've been bankrolled, but I know plenty of cool broke people, me included. Alise.
Thank you. I am also cool and broke.
Yeah.
No, it's more like everyone you thought was cool.
Oh, okay.
Just has really rich parents, because you're like, wow, that person just made a film. They're so cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, who funded the film? Or it's like, this guy's like a painter. She's just a singer. That's all she does. She must be super successful.
She's like concentrating on her art. She's taking it so seriously. She doesn't have to work a day job.
Everyone is secretly rich, except for the 3 people in this room right now.
Wow. I assume that our podcast editor is not rich either. Otherwise, she would not have to be listening to
I didn't know if we wanted
podcasts.
them to know that she was here. So yeah, the 4 people
she's
in this
here.
room.
We do have an editor who cuts off
We've
a
got
lot
a
of
producer.
the shit.
I think that some people probably think that I am rich because they're like, oh, he seems cool.
Wow.
But I had to set the record straight with that song. Of
Well,
course.
yeah, and this is all in reference to a song that Kareem wrote that we put on his Instagram called "Everyone You Think Is Cool." What is it?
It's called Really Rich Parents.
Really rich parents. That's very interesting to me because number one, I've been following, there is this like TikTok, there's a gal on TikTok who's going back and talking about all the it girls of like the early 2000s and like doing like indie sleaze, if you will, all the indie sleaze era. And a lot of them really rich parents.
100%. It's still happening. I was like watching something at Sundance and they were like blah 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 blah, like isn't this great movie?
Also flex that Kareem was out Sundance.
No, I was watching it on Instagram.
I
was watching Hollywood Reporter talking about what's happening at Sundance.
Because I feel like you would be at Sundance.
I would be at Sundance.
Yeah.
I don't have
the money
exactly,
to
but if I had a project, I would figure out a way to go. But it was like, oh, X, Y, and Z, blah blah blah, and I was like, cool. Who is this person? It was literally just like someone's son, and I'm like, oh, okay. So this person's not. They're probably cool, but they're also rich.
Yeah,
well,
which is a lot easier to export your coolness into the world when you are able to.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
There's this girl, I always talk about, she's a lovely person, but there's somebody I know who, like, one of my first improv teams that I was on, this girl just always had money and like but she was never working. I'm like, I couldn't understand. And then finally I found out that her dad had copyrighted the term March Madness.
That's so good. That's so perfect.
She's the heir to March Madness.
Dude,
which is so like, it's so twisted because it's all college sports and those motherfuckers don't even get paid. The people in March Madness don't get paid, but the girl whose dad made the term March Madness can fucking bankroll her improv.
Also, no shade to any of these people who were born into wealth. No, if you were
shady,
born into, this is how I think about it. If you were born into wealth, it's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
It's the same as being born into poverty. But you should use that wealth
to help us. People.
Yeah.
Not to help people.
To help us.
No, not charity, like not donations. I'm saying like, oh, cool, you have an idea, like you want to shoot my music video for free.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Because you're a director.
Yes. Yeah. You're putting it in quotes.
Yeah, you're a director. You don't need the money.
That's what my friends...
to direct. You like directing, and now you are going to do it for free because you like me.
Well, I feel like my one friend has this whole theory of like in the 70s when people were rich, they used to like have a house and have all their friends like live there for free and like whatever and like kind of bankroll their friends. Now when people are rich, like they cosplay as poor and they want to be in it with like but it's like, nah, dog, take me out to fucking Ruth Chris. But they're the same people who are like, you fucking get a drink for them, you know, and then they immediately Venmo you, or like, I don't know, or they buy a drink for you and then they immediately Venmo you like right away, like, and it's like, damn, dog, you got it.
That's because
rich people aren't being patrons of the arts anymore.
I know.
And that's what we need.
They're trying to do art themselves, and it's like, no,
and it's like, no, that's not how you're supposed to do it.
They should know their role.
Just be a patron,
which is a great role.
It's great,
and everyone always is like, oh man, this patron, and they, like the Getty family.
Yeah,
the Carnegies.
They're well known as patrons. Yeah, you can make a name for yourself.
The only fucking rich patrons now are sadly the Sacklers, which we don't have to get into that.
Put a pin in that discourse. That's a discourse for a different day.
Would you take Sackler money?
I don't think that I could take Sackler money, unfortunately.
If they had a distant nephew who was mid, I'd fuck him. And but would I get like a whole project bankrolled out Sackler funds? No. Would I fuck a mid nephew that would fly me out somewhere? That's a whole different story.
Why has he got to be mid? Why can't he be just hot?
Well, you know, hot, there's no problem. There's no hot. That's a given. Mid, we're talking morally gray, and that's where I'm saying.
It's like his last name is Sackler.
Oh,
so
I don't know about
that's a red flag.
I said distant nephew, but if the last name is Sackler, okay.
That's tough, but then it's like, well, I read the book Empire of Pain, and it's like, which branch of the Sackler family is this guy coming from?
Elise has always read a book. That's the thing about Elise. She's always read a book.
That's a sign. That's also cosplay.
Yeah, that's me like cosplaying as smart.
Exactly. Like, everyone's like, oh, I read the book.
She's always read the book. Elise, why don't you ask the next question?
Let me pull up our next question. Okay, so Kareem, you're a comedian. You've also got a huge following online. I don't know if you identify as an influencer.
I feel like you're an influencer. I don't care if you identify as not.
I don't want to put that.
You in that
I'm putting you in that. I was like, some people they shy away from that word, but either way, you're a comedian. You've got a big following online. You're influencing the culture. Tell us before we get into it. Just give our audience the breakdown of your different projects, specifically Subway Takes, Keep the Meter Running. What started and how did they go?
First and foremost, let me address the influencer allegations.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Look, I would first and foremost.
You done SpawnCon for Weight Watchers.
That is.
So let's just.
And that's
chill.
what I was gonna say.
Let's just chill.
That's what I've been.
Because I saw that.
No,
I swiped. I don't even know if I
saying,
engaged in
this
that
is now
one.
Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
We're here to confront you.
I am here to say I would apprehensively agree that influencer could be used simply because MFs need a paycheck.
Yeah.
And it's a really easy way to tell a brand that I'm interested in working with them. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like looking at people who are comedians and I'm like, that person's not getting brand deals because their job is to sell tickets to their shows and go on tour.
Yeah.
I personally do not have interest in touring because I'm lazy. I want to be home. I want to watch TV. I want to hang out. I like New York.
That. No,
I really like New York.
I agree. I mean, I would tour, but to even get to the place where you're touring big cities, you have to tour like Chuckle Hut in Indianapolis.
Exactly.
Like, you do?
And it's a grind. And I was like, you know what? So if I have to be a hybrid where it's like I'm a comedian on the internet, I do shows in New York, I have fun with my friends, I come on podcasts like this, but then I get the...
And then you never come back again because we're roasting you so hard?
No. But then I get the Weight Watchers check.
Oh, God.
Sue me. Then yes,
I might
I'm
sue
a
you for
fucking
Weight Watchers.
influencer.
But...
okay, so I have a show called Subway Takes, which is a 1-minute podcast or talk show on the internet.
Somebody here was like, arguably one of your most popular Subway Takes.
Before the podcast began, it was said that you are the most popular.
Somebody here has the most views
Subway Take
out of 85 episodes. Somebody here. Somebody here is the reigning champion of Subway Takes.
It's Milly, you guys.
It is Milly.
It's Milly.
Every round of applause. Yeah, Milly.
Okay, but tell us what Subway Takes is.
Subway Takes is a 1-minute talk show on the subway where I ask someone what's your take, and that's the only question on the talk show. Milly, what's your take?
Well, I said androids are better than... I did not know. I knew it was a hot take, but the androids are better than iPhones. Did not know. I still am getting comments on that. Like, people feel strongly.
It was a fiery hot take.
You did it for the culture. You did it for the Android culture.
It would take like 1,000 suns.
Because when somebody's like, Android is better than iPhone, it's usually some like... small Indian
Elon Musk,
boy.
yeah,
you were going
Elon
a different
Musk
direction.
Stan.
Okay.
Elon Musk stan.
Yeah,
no, same direction.
Like
small Indian boy.
A smart Indian boy in Arizona who's like, bro, you don't understand. These apps are free. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, then when they see a hot Dominican girl with like, long acrylics on the subway talking about...
you pulled this is a Mac and this is a PC. You flipped it.
Yeah.
And you became the Mac.
For sure. And I'll also say that, ladies, I know it's hard out here. If you want non-stop DMs from the most random guys in literally every country in the world, I'm talking Eastern Europe, Africa, India, you just say you like androids on a platform, they will come. They will come and you will be creeped out. So yes, people go on your so Alise was like, she thought that Subway Takes was like you just ran into people on the train.
A lot of
she was just taking the train all the time.
No, I'm on the train. No, I did think that, but then
she's like, I gotta take the train.
I was like, wow, he's running into a lot of New York comedians. He's running into a lot of
You gotta
people.
get Alise on. She has a lot of hot takes.
Alise is coming on.
Alise is coming on. I have a take and I'll save it because it's
you can use. Why don't you use one of your like
the
extras? Use a mid take,
like a mid sackler that I would fuck.
What's your mid take?
My mid take, I guess my mid take, which we disagreed on in a recent episode of the Patreon, is that you can delete anything online.
Tweet and delete. Alise is a tweet and deleter. I disagree. I think that if the comments are hot and you're getting roasted, you got to just take it. Alise says no.
You're like 50 Cent. You're like, just get shot 9 times.
Well, I mean, I hope I'm not 50 Cent. And, everyone says every day 50 Cent proved why he gets shot 9 times because he's a fucking bully and a menace.
Is he?
Yes.
I'm not up to it.
Well, he bullies a lot of specifically women.
Pin in that discourse.
All right.
Yeah,
sorry.
that's a whole discourse. Yeah. He like trolls women, and then this one, I don't know. It's really bad, but
I'm pro tweet and delete because I feel that the conversation will continue regardless of your deletion, but you are allowed to be like, I can't be getting these notifications anymore.
I just feel like if you tweet and delete, then people will take that shit to your other comments.
I have a question. Is it a form of self-preservation? Like this is only tweet and delete if you are being harassed? Or is this tweet and delete like, oh, bad tweet because it's dumb and flopped? Delete.
Flop tweet's fine.
Flop tweet, yes, absolutely. But I'm talking more about like if you have become the discourse, I think you are allowed to delete because the internet is forever and the screenshots will exist and everyone can continue to roast you on their own, in their own ecosystem, but you can delete to be like, I do not want these notifications any longer.
Speaking of a tweet and delete, one of the Subway takes was that Taylor Swift is one of the greatest songwriters of all times. I disagreed, which was a mistake.
That
video made its way to Twitter.
Yeah.
And I was literally being doxxed and also falsely accused of like being misogynistic, being a woman hater.
Well, you are, but
yeah, I said false.
False.
Well,
yeah, for different reasons.
Yeah.
There's
no hotter take than...
No, I went as far as to delete my Twitter account.
Yeah, I left Twitter.
I said,
sure,
you know what? I'm not because it was crazy though. It was like I'm sure women experience it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Which this is not a joke at all. Like women do experience it on a daily basis. But I got a taste of like, hey, you should kill yourself. Just
you are
a million times.
I go to my other. Sometimes I go to my other tweet, my other message inbox, like the other one on Twitter, and there's like some guy responding to something I tweeted 3 years ago, and it's like, all pussies are trash, and I'm like, what? Or it's like, you suck, and I'm like, okay, bro.
You know what's funny is you are the second guest that we've now had who said that they have had a video taken from its originally intended platform,
put on Twitter,
brought to Twitter, and it was the worst experience of their life because Twitter is the platform for bad faith stuff of being and like not realizing that like. You have a show. It's called Subway Takes. It's lighthearted.
I'm friends with the guests.
You're friends with the guests.
I was being intentionally silly.
Yeah, and sometimes in service of the show, I imagine
you can't be like, I agree with everything.
Every single person, right? And so it's like, but Twitter will take that and just be like, this man hates women.
Yeah,
he hates every woman he's ever seen. This person, I can see it in his eyes. And it's just like, so it's just funny that you are the second guest that we've had who said that like having a video taken from its original platform and put on Twitter was their worst viral. It's a bad experience.
Do not recommend.
Yeah. Also, that's so funny. Just in general, stand-up culture is very scary. I remember one time, this one girl, who we're hoping to have on the podcast one day because she's crazy. I love her. But she purposefully started like beef with Nicki Minaj stans. She purposely was like, Nicki Minaj is whack, Nicki Minaj is whack.
That's so funny.
And like, I know she's crazy. Like, who the fuck?
I know I'm like, that sends a shiver down my spine. It's scary to think about activating the barbs in that way. Is scary.
She activated the barbs, and then I wrote back like, Ashley, you are so crazy. Or like, I can't believe I wrote like LOL on one of the things, and then they went after me. And then because you lost. Because I wrote LOL. They're like, they screenshotted my fucking profile picture, and then be like, can't believe you're laughing when you're looking like this.
Oh my god.
I'm like, God damn, I got a straight for just
the cruelty that will come from.
I just laughed at this.
Internet has no chill, bro.
No.
It has no chill. I don't even try to be funny on there anymore. Fuck it.
Well,
I'm a philosopher now.
Yeah, speaking of philosopher, what about keep the meter running? Which I feel like is you're more like wholesome.
It's my angel side.
Side,
It's my angel side. I hail a cab. And I ask the cab driver to take me to their favorite place and to keep the meter running. And then I have an adventure with the cab driver, learn about their lives, learn about myself in the process, have some good food. And
because they'll take them to like Muslim restaurants and their mosque and shit. It's really cute.
It's really, really, really something that it's so much fun. I just realized I have the same rug in my house.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted. I was
wow,
like,
was
wait,
it from
what?
fucking Wayfair too? You fucking influencer.
I can't tell you where it's from.
Yeah, because they haven't paid.
Because they haven't paid for that promotion yet.
Let's just say sometimes when you slide in the DMs and you say, I need a rug. Let's just say sometimes they'll give you one.
Okay.
This discourse is really going to come back at the end of the pod.
I'm new to this.
Yeah, okay.
My friend who's old to this was like, hey, if you want something, just DM and ask for it. I said, there's no way that works. Guess what?
It does.
It fucking works.
It does. But do you feel like you have to post about it, though?
I do. I mean, if I like the thing. If I don't like it, I don't. But it's chill.
Sometimes when people will just send me, like, once in a while, I'll just be like, hey, we'll send, like, hey, here's, like, 15 jars of dip. Like, I've gotten that before. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to fucking post.
You know what? It's been long enough into this episode that I haven't mentioned my chronic incurable dry eye. But
wow, bingo card.
But one time I talked about my chronic incurable dry eye on our former podcast, and someone did send me tea tree oil wipes for your eyelid.
Wow.
And that was kind of my big influencer. That was a big influencer moment for me.
You're a chronic dry eye influencer.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she does bring it up on every single podcast.
I'm the only one out here having the discussion.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm shining a light on chronic incurable dry eye.
You and my crusty-eyed poodle.
We need you. You have a crusty-eyed poodle? You have one of those crusty-eyed white MFs?
He's mixed, first of all, and he's Havanese. And also, I am a Dominican woman that lives in New York, so I'm not going to shy away from who I am, really. So that means that maybe, I do have a crusty-eyed poodle, and you're just going to have to deal with it. And I will be sucking at full volume.
Is it white?
It's biracial.
What color is
black
the face?
And white.
What color is the face?
The face is, because I did not,
What color is the face?
Black and white. It's
what color is the eye?
He's black and white.
Okay, what color is the eye? The eye
part is black. So
where's
the
crust?
Tell. The crust is the eye, because poodles get crusty eyes.
Because I don't like when the crusty eye is white MF.
I know.
Because then you really see the crust.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I'm being vulnerable and say you can't tell, but I know. And I try not to.
What are you gonna do about that?
Shut the fuck up. Anyway, we talked about the keep the meter running. Has there been any wild ones that you want to let us know before we move on?
No, nothing too wild. I mean, they've all been very tame.
Because like one time I'm like, this meter is running.
Oh, the meter. I mean, I have to. So I started doing the show a lot. Like I was doing like an episode a week. But they cost literally $1,000.
Yeah.
And I'm out of money. So now
because I'm like, this guy fucking let it.
No, I was using my own money.
His kids and shit.
This is why we need a patron of the arts.
I know.
Someone who's rich.
I need a patron. And so now I'm doing them a lot less because, again, self-funded. And I just did one for the first time in a while. I did one in Cairo, which I should say is crazy. I was on vacation with my family.
I saw that.
I could not resist.
Of course.
I was like,
but I hear that in Cairo they like to take people for a ride anyway.
They do like to take people for a ride.
So the fact that
we did go for a ride.
Yeah, like they'll be. I mean, like really, like pimping
they take you the long way no matter what.
Yeah, so for you to keep the meter running, it must have been a 38-hour episode.
We ended up in some crazy places. I was like, we ended up in a place where taxis are not allowed to go because the streets are so small. It's almost like a favela. Like it's it's the hood.
Yeah.
But he was like, you go in there for the best food, and I was like, well, you can't go in there. He was like, get a tuk-tuk, which is like a little motorcycle taxi. So I jumped out of his taxi, got in motorcycle taxi, and went to the kushari spot, which is my favorite national Egyptian food.
Yeah.
It's called kushari. It's rice, lentils, macaroni,
amazing,
garbanzo beans, all mixed together, plus fried onions, red sauce.
I love a fried onion.
Some spices. It's like spaghetti and rice. It's like it's just carbs.
Yeah, I was like every important carb is represented by what you just said.
Carb representation.
But it's good because that keeps you full. Like Dominicans, like when we go to the beach, we make a big bowl of Dominican spaghetti, and it's kind of the
Dominican
same.
Spaghetti?
It's just like the sauce is it's made with a lot of olives and like it's just like kind of with salami and shit. It's just like really like Latin flavored.
What do you think about that episode with Puerto Rican food is better than Dominican food?
That's why I say. I mean, also, and honestly, didn't do as well as androids, and that's all I'm going to say about that because one of the takes was that Puerto Rican food is not as good as Dominican food.
I saw it,
and all I'm going to say is to ask him to say it in Spanish. Anyway,
Ken Starr, you hear that, bro?
Yeah. Ken Starr, dilo en español, por favor. Anyway, okay. Kareem, last question before we get into the discourse. Kareem, congratulations. You're going to be a dad.
Oh, Zaddy.
Congrats.
Can I
Dadfluencer.
Zaddy. Yeah. No, you're going to be a dad, babe.
Zadfluencer.
Zadfluencer. So my question is how is this going to affect your content? Because a lot of your content is being single, douchey, like on Raya. You make a lot of Raya content and all that stuff.
That was the old me, bro.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
That was the old me.
That's what this question is. How is your new transition into fatherhood going to affect your content? And are you going to pivot to dad content now?
Look,
and that's what, this is what the people want to know.
So I think the content you all know and love, to all my fans out there, the content that you all know and love will continue to exist.
Your baby mamas, your
to all my fans. You may see a story here and there about a stroller.
Oh, okay, got him.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah, free.
A car seat, free.
You don't even have, do you have a car?
Of course.
Oh, you do?
You got to try to get the snoo.
Papa got a new car.
Wow.
For the baby.
Wow.
Because Papa was driving an old Land Rover. Okay. Because that's cool.
Yeah.
It's a piece of shit. I mean, it broke down all the time, but at least it was
Land
like, oh, look at this guy.
Land Rovers are hard to fucking fix.
It was horrible. I had to fix it in the Bronx all the time. And I had to drive to the Bronx to fix it, and it would take days. And anyways.
That's why people get Hondas and Toyotas.
I know.
The easiest to fix.
Now your boy has a Volvo.
Wow. Still tough to fix, but better.
But
easier.
It's safety. Number one safety in the world.
Wow.
So
already transition. You can't even say it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You wanted to do the podcast with sunglasses on. I'm like, you probably were going to need the sunglasses because you're not going to sleep because you're going to be a dad.
Look, I do not think I will post the baby.
Right, because that's controversial. That's
a discussion we've had on the Patreon before.
I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want to be a dadfluencer.
You don't want to be like, my kid shit on me.
Yeah, I'm not pivoting my humor to like
dad
be a
content.
dad. Yeah, I'm not a dad funny. I'm like, I'll post about it for the free stuff. Literally, that's if you see a post, it's because I needed something. Yeah, that is it. Otherwise, my child will live in peace.
Into the snoo. It's this really fancy.
Honey, I already got it.
You got the snoo?
Wow.
Damn, it'll rock your baby.
He's not new to this. He's true to this. Baby.
My girl gave me a list, and I said, it's like going to the grocery store. I said, I'll be right back, but I went to the couch and I went on Instagram.
And you DM'd everybody.
And I said, hey, I'm having a baby and blah 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 blah. May I? And
also,
they all
like,
said yes.
Sorry, but like, also you being brown too. It's like they want like ethnically
ambiguous dad.
Ethnically ambiguous dad using their product. Like, come on, and an influencer too, and like, oh god,
that's a big gap because those snoos
they're expensive.
They're expensive.
But the snoo,
what is a snoo? First of all,
it's a like bassinet that will rock your baby, and it will like vibrate, and it'll like it can like sense when your baby is like waking up, and it'll like put it back to sleep. It's like an AI bassinet.
It replicates the womb.
Yeah.
Well, baby,
as much as
I got my own snoo. If you're a mid-level slackler, I'll put you right to sleep.
Oh boy. You should have a baby with a sackler. Problem solved.
I don't know about.
And you can be the patron.
Well,
yeah. I'll tell you about the book, and then I'll tell you which branch of the Sacklers is okay to talk.
I don't know. I'm like.
We don't have to do the Sacklers. You can find someone else.
Okay, someone else.
Do a Biden.
I would honestly. Hunter. Listen, I could
Milly
fix him.
Biden.
Milly Biden. Let me tell you.
I could fix him is exactly right. That's your slogan for the whole thing.
I could fix him, and listen, I watched the sex tape and there's some dark energy there. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway.
Should we get into it?
We should get into it. Okay.
You got mail.
Listen, first off, I like to start the show. Well, we have 2 updates before I start. And I like to start the show. I mean, we should play the game first, right?
Yeah.
So I like to start the show with what are they talking about? And this is the segment of the show where I give you a response that someone posted on Twitter, and you have to tell me what the fuck they're talking about. Mm-hmm. Usually you're never going to get it right.
I've never gotten it right one time.
You never get it right.
I might get it right.
Okay.
You might.
Is it about your tweets or about tweets in general?
Tweets in general.
Okay.
Things in general.
I'm getting
not tweets, just like things.
Okay.
So this is from Sargon of Akkad, I guess. This is what the world looked like before mass immigration, widespread racial and gender guilt activism, and before bankers had totally screwed the economy for their own game. People were just allowed to be themselves, and they did fun and wholesome things for their own sake. What is this person talking about? This person, they're called Carl Benjamin. What is Carl Benjamin referring to?
They're talking about an alien ant farm concert
at
a boxing ring.
Yes! Oh my God!
It's the first gotten right ever.
Because you hear that online too. It is in response not to the concert, but into the Alien Ant Farm music video
for Smooth Criminal.
It's just a bunch of white people acting up, and this guy's like, "This is what America."
This is what it used to look like before mass immigration. I don't think that's true, but whatever. Because this came out in 2001.
2001. There was
true.
massive immigration.
No, you're right.
Widespread racial and gendered guilt
All right,
activism.
Swifties, you heard it here first. This guy hates women.
And before bankers totally screwed the economy again, I would say 2001 is really the height of bankers. They're actively screwing the economy.
And it really comes to fruition in 2000. Well.
Wow.
Okay. Well, you got it right at first ever in history.
Wow, that's incredible.
Next, we have 2 updates before we get into the discourse. First, we have a Gag City update. And specifically, Gag City, we talked about how fans would create AI-generated art in this pink format to promote Nicki Minaj's album, Gag City. Or she's taking you to Gag City. Or no, Pink... Sorry. The album is called Pink Friday 2, and she said she's taking you to Gag City. So the fans made AI generated art in the format of Gag City. Nicki Minaj then, to promote, this is the update from when we covered it on our first ever free feed episode. Nicki Minaj posted a image of her with fingers, like Nicki Minaj's fingers, but they were AI generated, so there were 6 fingers on the hand. And then somebody, this Twitter person, Queerton, I'm sorry, but his name is Quentin, just tweeted, like screenshotted the story and wrote 6 fingers, just to like point out that he has 6 fingers. And then Nicki Minaj wrote back on Twitter, she reposted, she said, "Let's find you 6 dicks now to suck. Gag City, stalker tings, obsession tings, hashtag Gag City, hashtag press play featuring @Future is out now, kiss face emoji, whatever." And then this person said, "Nicki quoted me, and if you manage to ignore the spelling mistakes, it seems like she defends herself as if I attacked her while I'm actually attacking the use of AI. I have nothing against her nor her music." Because I guess the morally wrong thing is that Nicki Minaj is a millionaire and she could just pay someone to make a image of her fingers and not use it with AI, which gave her 6 fingers.
It is funny to post something where you have 6 fingers and not notice that you've got that extra finger on there.
I mean, I feel like it was intentional.
No, it wasn't.
6 dicks.
Well, she said 6 dicks after.
I know, and that's a hilarious response.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is
stand with
and
Nicki.
that's why you don't activate the barbs.
I stand with Nicki.
This is
Who
why
are you
can't
gonna pay?
activate the barbs.
Oh, we have to pay someone to take a picture of a hand.
No, you
Come
pay
on.
someone to make.
No, put it in the AI. I don't give a fuck.
Oh my God! See, this
I'm
is
not
why.
pro
But
AI.
this is why we don't have patrons of the arts, because then they just get motherfucking AI instead of getting a rich person like Nicki Minaj to get a graphic designer some work.
But I do feel like because Gag City was all AI, it makes sense that she's contributing in an AI. Like I do think it's intentional use of AI because Gag City was all AI
It's
generated.
cheesy. Like, it's cheesy to do AI. AI is already cheesy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, we did this AI release, blah, 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 blah. It's like, snooze.
Yeah, but not this. What is it? What's the snow? The snoo.
The snoo.
For your baby.
Those photos will be real.
Yeah.
Those photos will be real.
All right, and one more update is that on the 9-month cruise, so we all know that TikToker Mark Sebastian's on the 9-month cruise right now, and he was doing a TikTok live from the Pinnacle Lounge, which is the exclusive lounge for Royal Caribbean, like high class members, and he was doing a TikTok live in the Pinnacle Lounge. Someone called Royal Caribbean and snitched on him. Someone watching the TikTok live called him, snitched on him, got him kicked out of the Pinnacle Lounge, and then he had to go to the guest services offices to get scolded.
So you're not allowed to. No one's allowed to see the Pinnacle Lounge. What did he?
Because
what did
he's
he
not
violate?
a Pinnacle Lounge member.
He wasn't supposed to.
But
be
he
in the
was a
Pinnacle
guest or somebody in the Pinnacle Lounge, and it was because he was TikToking. He was doing a live stream from there. But people are snitching.
Yeah, people are snitching.
Can you tell me about the 9-month cruise?
Wow, that's a different episode. That's a whole episode. There's a 9-month cruise right now.
Back.
Yeah, I know. Listen to the episode. Come back. We'll keep going. No, it's basically a 9-month cruise that's that sailed in December, and it ends this September. So it's going for 9 months, and it's going to like every continent except for
Africa.
It's going to Egypt, but it's not going to like Ghana or like Kenya or like coastal.
It's not
like
going
coastal.
to proper Africa.
Yeah, it's not going to coastal Africa. No, Egypt is Africa.
But I know.
Put a pin in that discourse. That's not for us.
Yeah, come on.
That's
not what we're doing.
Look, I agree.
Yeah, well, it's not agree or not. It's facts. But But it's not considered. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, it's not like.
I have a lot of thought about this.
Well, listen.
North African American.
All right. Well, please don't say the N word. Because our producer
So here's the deal.
She can't.
I'm not gonna say it, but what my point is about North African American is that I've been encouraged to say it, and I'm like, I'm not saying it.
Okay.
I've been encouraged by white people and black people.
Well, the white people shouldn't be engaging in that.
And this is why you gotta stay off Raya, baby, because you know what I'm saying. And the black people who are saying that, they don't love you. Okay, great. So, are we ready for the discourse?
We're ready for the discourse.
Okay, so today's discourse is about, I want you to fill in the blanks, the best thing that you know how.
Okay.
This discourse is about how blank aesthetic is out and this new aesthetic is in. Can you guess what the old aesthetic was and what the new aesthetic is? To be a hint, I dressed as best as I could, given the 30 minutes I had to get ready, in the new aesthetic.
Okay, I keep seeing this word Delulu.
Yeah.
Is that it?
No, bitch, fuck you.
But I do love the idea of
I don't know what it
Delulu
is. I just keep
Delulu
seeing
aesthetic.
people say Delulu.
Delulu is delusion, but
Oh,
continue.
okay, tight.
Yeah, it means delusional.
Okay,
It's like
something with
cute.
Gen Z.
Okay,
It
stop.
is Gen Z, I think.
No,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
dominatrix.
Okay, no. So it's about, okay.
Just guessing what Millie.
Yeah, I
Millie,
know.
delusional
Delusional
dominatrix.
I also have those deals. Today's discourse is about how the clean girl aesthetic is out and the mob wife aesthetic is in.
Yeah, so we're thinking
okay.
Carmela Soprano.
Okay.
Any woman on The Sopranos, but Carmela and Adriana, I think, are being lifted
Adriana's
up.
bad.
Adriana,
No, she's bad.
Absolutely,
She's
one
bad.
of the hottest
She's
women on television.
Wow.
And they did her,
She's bad.
and Christopher didn't appreciate her right.
Well,
And that's what I'll say.
shortly after, more into this trend, shortly after the trend of quiet luxury, which is, what is it, her name?
$2,000 blankets.
Yeah, well, you have the hashtag for that later. Shiv Roy from Succession, which, again, it's like old money, minimalist styles, muted color palettes, just basically expensive, plain looking shit. That was quiet luxury. And then we had the clean girl aesthetic, which is neutral shades, glowing skin, highly sculpted, yet quote unquote barely there.
Think Hailey Bieber.
Hailey Bieber, what does she want? Like a glazed donut skin, which is so fucking crazy. I don't think Hailey Bieber's ever eaten a donut in her life.
She's aware of them. She's seen one.
She's engaged with the idea of donuts. Now it's all about the mob wife. So now we're gonna quickly listen to this video if I can.
We're doing messy hair, we're doing big furs. If your hair isn't perfectly slicked back, that is totally fine. It's an attitude, it's an aura. We all want to be the mob boss's wife because she is a boss in and of herself. Mob wife is unbothered. She has places to be, she has people to see. She does not deal with your bullshit. She doesn't take anything from anyone. She always has a fur just thrown over. She has red lips, she has red fingernails. She always has like smoky makeup. We're gonna keep doing the big blowouts. Tiger print head to toe. I want leopard print. I want cheetah print. I want all of the animal prints. Mob wife is honestly like a girl boss that would be caught dead using the word girl boss. We want messy hair. We don't have time for perfection. We want big, bold outfits. We are never extra enough. We are giving glamour and there is nothing quiet about this luxury. We want shades on always. We are blocking every hater.
Wow.
We want all the jewelry.
Yeah.
We want big chains. We want big rings. We want to be covered in jewels. I honestly want like those chunky old school French manicures, but like the big square ones. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. We're all dressing like our very stylish Italian grandma that we don't actually have, but we wish that we did. This makeup is coming back too. We want smoky makeup. We don't care about being clean anymore. We don't have time to be clean. Again, we have places to go. Messy hair, messy makeup. That's the vibe. We've even already been seeing Kylie Jenner rock this makeup for a while. We're doing less contour. We're doing less bronzer. We don't care if we're pale. We're doing a dark lip and we're doing a smoky eye, but it's like minimal. We didn't try that hard because again, we gotta go. That's it. That's the vibe now.
Yep. So that's mob wife aesthetic.
Okay, I do want to. Sorry.
Let's hear reflections, thoughts as you as an Italian American.
I am. Yes, my mom's side is Italian, so I feel ready to comment on this. I will say
Italian from New Jersey. Too,
for real.
That's
we did Feast of the Seven Fishes for Christmas. That's very Italian thing to do. I think that the way that this TikToker described the aesthetic was correct. I would push back against the idea that the mob boss's wife is a girl boss of her own type, or that it's like the mob boss's wife is getting yelled at by her husband who's a psychopath and then hiding kind of his cash in the walls.
That's also
not
what
really
I was
girl
gonna say.
bossing, I would say.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, you want this aesthetic? These women are always miserable. Like, I haven't seen one happy, like, really happy mob wife. The only kind of happy mob wife is Lady Gaga in House of Gucci.
Yeah, and she kills the mob. She kills him.
Yeah, she
kills him. And I will...
Which also, I mean, did he have it coming?
Yeah, like, Carmela Soprano looks great. Adriana looks great on The Sopranos. I don't think you're supposed to feel like they're happy.
They're definitely not happy.
No, Adriana is killed.
Yeah.
So, spoiler for The Sopranos.
And Carmela's
but
tortured.
Yeah.
Not like physically.
And Carmela, like, lives...
Like, a lot of them hit their wives, too. I'm like, what are we doing, people?
Yeah, and Carmela is, like, perpetually cheated on. She's so, like, sad and stunted. She's constantly, like, trying to be the perfect wife for Tony, where he doesn't, like, care about being a good husband for her. She has a weird, that almost affair with the priest.
I think this is a time to redefine what the mob wives mean. Wow, what? It's a time to redefine what the mob wife means. Mm-hmm. And I think it's an opportunity for us to do some deep reflecting, as we're doing right now.
Yeah.
But maybe in this new era, we're taking the look, but not the interpersonal relationships.
Yeah. I say wear a fur, wear a leopard print. I love all that.
Vintage and faux fur, please.
Yes.
Peter.
Yeah.
I support it. I'm like all in. I like it. I want everything to be maximalist.
Yeah.
Me too.
But I'm also just like, you can just wear that. You don't need some girl on TikTok to tell you, don't, clean girls out. Like, don't wash your ass.
But then we wouldn't have anything to talk about.
Well, hello.
Yeah, I think you should wear what makes you look nice and feel pretty. And I think this is, I mean, we'll get into the discourse of this discourse, but I feel like one of the things I've seen on TikTok of people talking about this is just like, you should develop a sense of personal style. And that will move with trends for sure. But it also, there are like things about it that are not changeable. So like for me, I'm in a pretty neutral outfit right now, but like I usually like to wear like stuff that's like a little quirky, a little funky piece. Yeah. I'm a beanie girl, all that stuff. Like that has not changed from when I was young. Some of the like key pieces of the style have changed, but like my sense of personal style has remained with me.
Yeah, I mean that's like kind of the point is like, you know, there's trends in fashion and then there's your personal style. I mean, I did a show on Saturday and somebody came up to me and they're like, "Oh my God, I love your top. I love your outfit. I love your top." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I got this like from Target." And she's like, "No. It's styling. Like the way you style this." And I'm like, "Oh,
shit.
yes, that was a great best compliment."
That's
Women give the best compliments. Men are just like, "Oh, look her titties."
I agree.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the backlash. So obviously many Italian Americans are saying their culture is not a costume and there seems to be a lot of infighting. And people, you know, people are dragging non-Italians for this, you know, especially I'm sure like if Italians were seen as like not white for a very long time, and now there's like to see people kind of take the aesthetic is probably a mind fuck. And a lot of former mob wives are saying that if you aren't Italian and you're wearing this, you're just looking trashy or whatever. I don't know.
A fur coat though?
I know, but
like cheetah print. I'm sorry. I'll say it again. my credentials, we did the Feast of the Seven Fishes.
Yeah, she's Italian.
But I think stand down on that a little bit.
Well, and also I will say from like the Black TikTok perspective is just like, people are like, we were always engaging in these trends, but also it's like, yeah, now you know how it feels like when someone takes your aesthetic. It's like, welcome to our life. That's what the thing is. Something that was really interesting that I really liked, a point was from at Olivia Mancuso, who is a first-generation Sicilian, and she was saying that she recently spent time with her family in Sicily, and she says that, which is a point that we kind of talk about too, it's like when people immigrate here to the U.S., their thoughts of what their culture was back home are stuck in the time from when they came. So like, wow. So that's why you see a lot of people like really obsessed with traditional gender roles because this is how they do it in Italy or this and that. Or like, while the people in the respective countries like have moved on and progressed. So like a lot of stereotypes that we have about Italians and Italian people are antiquated to like when a majority of Italian immigrants came to the U.S. was from like the 50s. So something that like kind of brought this on for me is like, in the Latin discourse, when we're talking about like using gender inclusive Latin language like Latine or Latinx, you know what I mean? Like Hispanic Americans in America are like, no one fucking uses that, this and that. But like their idea of what Latin culture is from when they came, which was 20, 30 years. But like if you go in Mexico or in Chile or in Dominican, like they are progressing with language. So it's just, I don't know, it's really interesting when we're talking about mob boss wives and stuff, like even because this girl was like, in Sicily, everybody does like the gender roles aren't so defined. Like men are taking care of the kids and this and that, like just how in the US too, but it's like this patriarchy and stuff is part of Italian American culture in a way that like Italy has progressed in this way. So I thought that was an interesting point. And I personally, now, before I open it up to the floor, I personally feel like this is an effect of, a lot of mostly white women, but like also people and like Gen Z and all this stuff, like over labeling themselves to like fit into these all smaller categories of like, not really like being fluid through things, but it's like, oh, this is out, this is in, this is, I don't know. So yeah, that's what I'll say. And I'm going to open it to the class.
Yeah. Well, I guess my initial thought is just number one, I do agree with the over labeling. I feel like it's just like, just say fur coats and animal print are in, and then it wouldn't be like this weird cultural thing.
Or maximalist, like
maximalism. Said. I don't know. I feel like
or opulence.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, I don't know. Trends change, but I feel like the fact that we have to label it.
Do you guys think she's dead serious? I feel like she's trolling.
No, well, that's the thing.
I feel like she's a little bit like, but I feel knows what she's doing. This
is like 4 other videos that I could have chosen from where they're all like mob wife aesthetic.
I think they're all in cahoots.
I don't know.
No, because I think people
people are dumb.
I think people like when it was like normcore. Do you remember normcore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was like, what, 4 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah, but people are still dressing like that.
I know. People have always dressed like that. And people always dress like that. Like, nothing changes, but people just like to say, like, oh, it's normcore now. Gorpcore. Do you know gorpcore? It's when you wear, like,
I'm not familiar.
Gorpcore is when you wear, like, full, like, Arc'teryx, like, functional, like, hiking boots, but you're just going to, like, grab a matcha latte from the city.
Oh,
but
so
you wear, like,
man,
an Arc'teryx, like, yeah, exactly. Just a guy.
Just a guy, yeah.
But
those are the kinds, I don't know if it's called gorpcore, but those kind of guys I describe as, like, their Instagram is just pictures of leaves.
Yeah, but they're hype beast ones. Like they got like a pair of like $2,000 like Nike Rick Owens collab boots that have like a 3M sole, and then like it's like functionally it's actually impractical because you don't need all of this gear to like go to Manhattan. Yeah. But I do think people just like, I think it's, for me at least as an outsider who doesn't really participate in any of these things.
Mm-hmm. Well, you just called yourself a zaddy, so.
No, I think it's fun.
Okay, interesting.
Like, I would be like, you know what? I might make a fucking video that says, yeah, mob men.
Yeah,
Fuck it. We're all dressing
aesthetic
like killers. No, you gotta
Why
wear.
don't you should do mob husband?
Yeah, you gotta keep the blicky on you, and you gotta keep it concealed. The blicky's a gun for those who don't know.
Okay.
I got that. I speak TikTok.
Okay, yeah, but I don't know. I think they're trolling. I really do think they're trolling.
So you as a brown man, as an Arab, are gonna say you're gonna keep the blicky on you.
Yeah, I keep the blicky
and then post it on the internet.
100%.
And we'll see how your flight.
I'm gonna say, look, we're doing mob husband,
Yeah.
Tony Soprano vibes. Keep the blicky on you.
Oh, jeez.
Keep the blicky on you at all times.
Yeah.
And then I'll do a video like that.
I feel like mob husband could go two different ways, which is either like the just like white undershirt, like sweatpants, whatever.
Yeah.
Or you're wearing a full suit.
Yeah.
It's pinstripe.
Yeah.
There's a hat.
Where do you
there are two divergent.
Where do you
mob
fall in the
husband.
hierarchy? Are you a freaking loser? Or
Yeah.
are you a freaking tough guy?
But Tony, he's the boss. I feel like Tony wasn't wearing a full suit, but some
Tony's
of the other, if
comfortable.
we're talking
Tony
big
is
pussy,
comfortable.
Tony's very
Tony's
comfortable.
cozy core.
Cozy
Yeah,
core.
Tony.
Wow, we're making up new subgenres.
But I feel like some of the other ones, Big Pussy, Polly, they
I
would
didn't watch
wear.
Sopranos, actually.
Wow.
Well,
Well,
you gotta know
Millie,
that there's a guy
for
named
me.
Big Pussy on there.
Well,
there. Well,
I
there's
got
a
a
character
big
named
pussy.
Big
If there's a
and-
mid-level slackler on I'm kidding. It's not funny that the Sacklers are evil.
Millie's not going to date a Sackler,
Millie's
guys.
gonna date a Sackler.
That's not the.
Millie's gonna do it.
Kareem, please. First of all, I will say though, which got edited out, is that, I need help because there's no Raya on Androids. So I'm out here struggling on
Holy
Hinge.
shit.
That's crazy.
discrimination.
Bro, that's
classism. I
classism.
said that on the subway takes, but it got edited, so it just said Android discrimination.
Oh my
But there's
goodness.
no Raya on.
Wow, I'm shaken by that.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm out here
shook.
on Hinge talking to normies. Like, come on, dog.
Wow,
I can't.
no.
I'm trying to get with the Sackler, but I'm just. Wow, I want to fuck a DJ. Well, I have fucked DJs and they suck. But I'm like, I want to fuck a special one.
Get a dating phone.
Get a dating phone.
Yeah,
I know. I almost thought.
It's just the iPhone.
But then you might not even get on. That's the thing.
I'll get you on.
Or people have invited me. No, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna get an iPad just to get, because you can do it on iPad, right?
Bro,
Raya?
that's tight.
But then I'm like, I don't want to get an iPad, and I was gonna get like an old iPad just to get the Raya
That's
app.
so funny. You should definitely do it just for the bit.
Just for the bit, but
It's
then I was like,
fucking
what
crazy.
if I don't? Because I have friends who like haven't gotten on, so I'm like, I don't want to fucking buy a $300 iPad.
No, you'll get on.
I would think so, but I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
like,
if anyone listening can ensure that Millie will get on Raya, we'll get her
She's
an
literally getting
ancient
an
iPad so
and
that
if you
she
don't know
can
what
get on
Raya
Raya.
is, it's the invite-only Tinder. It's Tinder for celebrities. Well, I think we can just move on to
Grasshole of the week.
Grasshole of the Week.
Okay, so Grasshole of the Week is our segment every week where we declare the person or persons who need to touch grass the most. This is sometimes loving, sometimes it's someone we don't like, sometimes...
Last week it was the guy who sued 30 women because of the "Are we dating the same guy?"
Someone posted about him in there, and he sued for like $75 million.
$75 million.
Did he win?
Fuck you.
Ongoing.
Because Kareem's like, I got some things.
He-
You're gonna be a dad. You can't be engaging in this shit.
For this week's Grasshole, there are two people who could potentially be the Grasshole, and I think we're going to decide. And this really goes into the Kareem as influencer discourse. So
Yeah,
I'm very
tailored to you,
excited
yeah.
to hear, as someone who's doing brand
allegations.
partnerships,
All of these
what
allegations.
you feel about this. So
Okay.
we are talking about makeup TikToker Michaela Nogueira and this guy Matthew Stevens, who owns a self-tanner business. He's kind of an influencer in his own right. He has like 700,000 followers, but Michaela has 15 million.
Yeah.
So
She's Keith Lee level.
yeah, she's an influencer on a different level. You guys might remember her. She has this thick Boston accent.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, the
You know that?
Kardashians.
Don't
But
know.
You don't know
What this is.
Michaela?
okay, she has this thick Boston accent. And if this podcast had premiered 1 year ago, if we were podcasting one
Yeah.
year ago, we would have been talking about Michaela because exactly pretty
1
much
year ago.
1 year ago,
Yeah.
she was the discourse because she allegedly used false eyelashes in a mascara review.
Yeah, she said everyone was this mascara is really good, but then everyone's like, those are falsies.
Those are falsies.
Bro, that's fucked up.
So, but she has since bounced back from that. So I wanted to just play one clip of her super quick so you can hear the Boston accent.
Okay.
This brush is supposed to give you the perfect nose contour. God. Do I think it's a gimmick? Of course I fucking do.
I don't like that at all. I feel like I just had a sleep paralysis demon come into my fucking earlobe. That is gross.
It's crazy how you're scared of Swifties, but you'll activate against Boston.
I don't give a... That is a gross person. I don't know. I'm not even trying to say it about the accent. That's just a gross person.
So maybe she's our
great with makeup, though.
I'm not saying her looks are gross. I don't even know what she looks like.
So one side of this argument is Michaela.
Okay.
On the other side, we have Matthew Stevens, who owns a self-tanner business. Mm-hmm. And he posted a TikTok this weekend, the video that has 12.7 million views.
Wow.
At this point. The video is 10 minutes long, so I'm going to summarize it, the video. Please. So basically, he owns this self-tanner business, and the big thing about his self-tanner is that they like do a specialized skin assessment for you, so you get a special color for your self-tanner. He posts this video, and the video starts with an image of Michaela behind him, and he says, "Michaela's lies have cost me $10,000.
Wow.
The caption on this video is, "I'm sorry, Michaela. I tried to handle this privately, but you don't care. I never would have spent all this money if you had not told me you were posting the next day. If you tell someone you're going to do something, you do it. My mental health has been shit this last month because of this." And basically, what he describes is that he once made a video trying to get Michaela to review his self-tanner.
Yeah.
She did not. But then she reviewed a bigger company that he says ripped off his self-tanner. So then they get in DMs together. They're talking back and forth. He gets in direct contact with Michaela. She says, "I always support small businesses. I have your self-tanner. I'm going to review the self-tanner."
Wow.
They exchange phone numbers. They're actually texting.
Wow.
She says, "I'm going to review the self-tanner." 2 months pass by. So then he does a live where I guess he had signaled to his followers that Michaela was going to review the self-tanner, and then they were asking about it, and he was like, "Forget about it. She's not reviewing the self-tanner." This prompted his fans to go into her comments and say, "Review this fucking self-tanner." So then she texts him and she says, "Did you mention me on your live? Because everyone's saying that I got to review your self-tanner. I'm going to do it. I'm going to review the self-tanner." She says, "I'm going to review the self-tanner tomorrow."
Okay.
So
I'm so caught up in this. This is insane.
This is where
I love this.
In my opinion, if I can editorialize, I think Matthew made a bit of a blunder.
Okay.
So Matthew says that he had once seen a video from Michaela in which she said that sometimes she doesn't review indie brands because once they are reviewed, they don't have the stock.
The fulfillment.
They
that's
don't
a
have
real
the stock
problem.
to handle the bump that getting a review from Michaela will bring. So Matthew.
I have a story about that.
So Matthew takes out a loan for $10,000.
He's an idiot.
And buys $10,000 worth of stock of his self-tanner.
Matthew.
Do you think that Michaela posted the review?
No.
Michaela didn't make the review.
No, Michaela didn't make the review. And now the video kind of takes a weird detour where he's like, but she posted another video and she clearly has a tan on, but the tan looks bad. And I realized it was a spray tan and she looks orange and she looks bad. And I'm just like, that's a different, whatever. So then
but also got him.
Yeah. So then he also directly texts Michaela and shows the screenshot of that saying like, "You look beautiful. I wish you had talked to me about application." I'm like, oh my God.
Okay, now he's getting weird. Yeah.
So then she, I guess, says like, "Oh, it got away from me. I didn't post the review." That was around Christmas time. It's been 2 weeks since then. So now he has taken to TikTok to say Michaela's lies cost him $10,000.
That's so funny.
Because she did not review his bronzer. Michaela has had to respond, and she basically said, "I think Steven's a nice guy. It got away from me. I should have reviewed the tanner. I would never tell someone to take out a loan for $10,000.
So she still hasn't reviewed it.
No, she has not reviewed.
That's the best part.
No, she has not reviewed the tanner.
She made another video that says, "I would never do this.
I would never tell someone."
But she didn't make a video that says, "It's pretty good. Buy the stuff."
She is holding the tanner in the new video
so
response.
fucking funny. She's trolling. Okay, I changed my mind. I like her.
So
I'm back in.
That brings us to who do we feel is the grasshole in this situation? Because what I will say is there was no formal contract. Yeah. This wasn't a brand deal. Yeah. She was going to, for free, review his product.
Yeah. No, the guy is the asshole. Well, to 100%. Me, okay,
I'm going to say this. I one time, around the holidays, like 6 years ago, somebody's like, hey, we need help with this candle company. And I went and I got $100 cash for the day, and I was literally filling up candles, whatever, and it was fucking mayhem in this one little studio. And we're like, what happened? The guy's like, yeah, I have this small candle company. It was reviewed on Good Morning America, and from yesterday to today we had 20,000 orders, and we're fucking drowning. And my mom's his whole family was there, and they're working 24 hours a day to try to fulfill all the orders in the time that it says on the website. So I do understand that and then people are calling and complaining and pissed at this guy, what the fuck? Where's my fucking candle? And then the guy's like, sorry, we got all these orders. Well, then don't go on Good Morning
America. Millie's choking on her take.
Well, guys, then don't go on Good Morning America. Then you ask, these people are pissed. And it was so I understand. I don't think it's a smart business decision, but I also understand that when you do get that kind of bump, it is overwhelming. So this guy's trying to be proactive and prepare, but he's still an idiot. I think both of them are grassholes. No, we're not talking about assholes. We're talking about grassholes. People who need to log off.
Bro, he's Delulu.
I think that
he's Delulu.
I think that
she didn't do anything wrong. People
Delulu.
say people are like, hey, let's grab dinner, and then you're like, all right, yeah, we should, and then we don't, and no one gets mad.
I do feel also when you are dealing with an influencer on the level of someone who has 15 million followers, who is doing brand deals, who probably does have stuff that she legit has to post because of a contract, you have to know that reviewing your self-tanner for free is the bottom of this person's totem pole. I do understand, as someone who... I recently had this situation where a person kept telling me they were going to hire me, and then they didn't, and they would disappear and all this stuff. I get the frustration being oh my God, I thought this was going to happen. I thought my business was going to get this huge bump. Everything. It's such a bummer not to, but you can't. He also in the video is the loan took 24 hours for me to get, and then I ordered all the product. I'm so just wait until the video is posted. Just wait until you actually see. If you've been doing back and forth with this woman, she's told you multiple times she's going to post it and doesn't post it. Wait until you see that video in your feed and then get this loan out, or try to do a real brand deal with her. And then she has to deliver.
For sure. Exactly. That's actually great.
Yeah, because that's the thing, too, is that you don't have anything until, there's nothing until... There has to be an incentive for the other. What's Michaela's incentive for her to do this, right? It's she gets free product. She probably has, her fucking house is probably to the brim with free product. That's not an incentive anymore. It's what are you going to do to get this bump? You know what I mean? And it's just it has to be a two-way street.
It sounds like she was being nice, honestly. Even communicating with this person, she could have left him on red.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't think she's. It seems like he just is literally actually Delulu and was he did the whole okay, so this is gonna happen and this is gonna happen, so I need to get a $10,000 loan.
Yeah, that's crazy.
To buy the product for something that has not happened.
I get the
preparation.
When I say I understand, I'm I understand why he did that. I don't agree, and I do agree with you guys that whatever. And I also think it's also just this entitlement of just because someone supports small businesses and all, you're not entitled to Michaela to do shit for you. Yeah. And anything that she does is extra. To make her content good, it would behoove her to not just do Maybelline big brands all the time and to switch it up. And I know one time very recently one of her videos was just taking another makeup artist's videos and doing the same look and seeing what she thought of it, and that bumped that girl up, and that girl didn't expect anything, and it was just like a nice thing to do. So like, I understand you want to change up your thing, but it's like, yeah, you can't. It's this entitlement of like, oh well, she said so, she has to. It's like, no, man.
I also feel like he was kind of chasing her down in a way. It's like he made a video being like, review my self tanner. Yeah. Then he's like, it's not a coincidence that she reviewed a different self tanner that does the same thing.
They probably paid her like $7,000.
Yeah, like, that company probably paid her
$20,000.
Who knows?
That company
That's
probably paid her. And then it's like you're in her DMs. I do feel like I'm like, Michaela, you do not need to be good.
I wish I had a fucking manager that worked as hard as that guy for me.
Well,
yeah. And then it's like to go on live and be like, she's not reviewing it. I'm like, you are putting too much of your business and the future. You are creating this world in which Michaela is going to do something for your business that like
you could have done. Imagine if he put all that effort into fucking promoting, or he could have reached out to 15 different fucking influencers that have 1 million followers,
right? Like just find some lower level
people that would do it for free, or do it for product or whatever, or pay him $500 or whatever.
Yeah, I just
Delulu. You're right.
He's Delulu, bro.
Delulu.
So are we in agreement that Matthew Stevens is our grass hole?
Matthew Stevens, go touch grass.
Matthew Stevens, go touch grass. And I'm sorry that you spent $10,000. $10,000 to take out a loan.
I fuck with the vision.
No, I get it. Like I when you're caught off guard,
he's great. He's an entrepreneur. He's working hard. He's not just sitting there. He's trying to make it happen. He's using all of the things that he has to his disposal. But you can't blame her.
Yeah.
That's the part that's wrong. He could do all these things and just be like, well, I took an L. Privately, I took an L. I took out this loan. I thought this was going to happen. It's not like this shit goes expired. Like
well, some of it does, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not like it's not like it's cheese or like hummus.
Yeah.
Or like like he can have a stock, do a 50% off sale. She might even do it eventually.
I mean, this video has 12 million views, so he might have gotten what he wanted.
I think he did.
At the end of the day.
Well,
because I kind of feel like
it's
he
a
was
blessing
like,
in disguise.
He was like, I'm using this bitch to sell my self tanner, whether she
likes
reviews
it or not,
or whether I get on Instagram and say this.
Look, he's more power to him for trying.
Yeah.
Well, but I think it's
He tried it, and it might have been success. It might have been.
I think it sounds like it worked. We're talking about it.
Yeah, we're talking about it.
And if we're talking about it, that means it's
the pinnacle of pop culture.
And she did have to respond, and she is holding it, but she's not reviewing it.
Okay.
I love that she's not reviewing it.
And right now, Matthew Stevens, Kareem said that he will put the self tanner on his baby.
I never said that. I never said that. Do not.
And it will get on the snoo.
I have no power. Compared to Michaela, I have no power.
Yeah.
All right, I think that brings us to the end of the episode. This was, I feel like this was a high velocity episode.
We want to respect Kareem's time because he's about to be a zaddy. So
yeah, he's about to be a zadfluencer.
Thank you for saying it.
Listen, guys, follow us on Patreon. We got a great episode about Being Dad where I'm fucking fighting for my life with my losing. I lost my voice after that thing.
And Milly's having to read 40
tweets about this guy who didn't open a fucking can for his daughter.
So definitely support Milly there. Follow at Go Touch Grass Pod on everything. Kareem, where can people follow you, find your projects, all that good stuff?
On Instagram at Kareem, that's me. At Subway Takes, that's Subway Takes.
Yes.
On TikTok at Keep the Meter Running, at Subway Takes, and at Kareem Rahma. I think that's all. I think that's the only.
That's Kareem.
Oh, and on Spotify, Kareem Rahma or Tiny Gun. That's my band. If you like
Indie Sleaze band.
If you like it, you should like it. It's pretty good, I think.
I think it's pretty good.
And y'all, you can follow me on Instagram at Pandalise and on TikTok at Alise Navidad.
Yeah, and you can follow me at Milly_Tamaris on Instagram, at Milly_Tamaris on TikTok, and at Milly Tamaris on Twitter, aka Lactose Intolerant.
Lactose Intolerant. And if you like the podcast, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating or review on Spotify. Check out the Patreon, Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Yeah,
either of those will be great. Check out the Patreon. Like we said, we've got that search history up about Being Dad. We're going to be doing another one. We let our patrons vote, and it looks like Colleen Ballinger won.
We're going to do a whole fucking deep dive on that.
We're going to do a whole deep dive on Colleen Ballinger.
Hope you guys like ukulele apologies.
And until next time,
go touch grass.
That was a HeadGum podcast. Hi, I'm Caleb Heron, host of the So True podcast, now on HeadGum. Every week, me and my guests get into it, and we get down to what's really going on. I ask them what's so true to them, how they got to where they are in life, a bunch of other questions, and we also may or may not test their general trivia knowledge, whether it's one of my sworn enemies like Brittany Broski or Drew Wallow, or my actual biological mother, Kelly. My guests and I are just after the truth, and if we find it, great, and if not, no worries. So subscribe to So True on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and watch video episodes on the So True with Caleb Heron YouTube channel. New episodes drop every Thursday. Love ya.